The charges against ex-Indian intelligence officer Vikas Yadav by the United States in connection with Pannun's murder plot have sparked a contentious debate in India. While the government has extended full cooperation to the US, receiving praise for its efforts, opposition parties have seized this opportunity to target the Modi government. They have drawn parallels with the Gujarat Sohrabuddin case, alleging that this is another instance of extrajudicial tactics. Viewers, this criticism is misguided on several counts. By questioning India's cooperation with the US, the opposition undermines the country's commitment to the rule of law and transparency, if you will. It's crucial to recognize that democratic nations often collaborate to uphold justice and accountability. Viewers, what's rather strange is that those who claim to be champions of democracy and rule of law are today objecting to Modi government's transparency in dealing with this issue. Which is why, viewers, it's important to underline that India's cooperation with the US demonstrates our adherence to the principles. Rather than politicizing the issue, the opposition should acknowledge the significance of international cooperation in promoting fairness and accountability. By doing so, they would contribute to a more informed and constructive public discourse rather than trivializing the issue with unfounded criticisms. Sample the reactions.
The US government and the FBI puts an Indian citizen in the FBI's most wanted list. It is a glaring failure of diplomatic relations, and not only that, it exposes the incompetence and ineptitude of our foreign policy.
भारत के एजेंसीज के ऊपर इस तरह के आरोप, इस तरह के गंभीर आरोप कभी नहीं लगे हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि जल्द से जल्द सर्वदलीय बैठक बुलाया जाए और इस दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण मामले के ऊपर पूरा खुलासा हो।
देखिए, तृणमूल कांग्रेस जो काम कर रही है, मुझे लगता है कि देश की सुरक्षा के साथ एक खिलवाड़ है। उसमें टीएमसी के सांसद और नेता एक के बाद एक जो सोशल मीडिया पे डाल रहे हैं, एक सैंडल पे यूज करके, हमें ये थोड़ा समझने में तकलीफ हो रही है कि टीएमसी किस तरफ है, अपने देश भारत के साथ है कि दूसरी तरफ से खेल रहे हैं।
You heard the reactions. Let's quickly open this up. Syed Zafar Islam, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Karan Verma, political analyst. Dr. Anand Ranganathan needs no introduction. Kamru Choudhury, political analyst, and Pooja Mishra, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, is also with us. Dr. Akash Deep Muni will be joining us shortly. But Dr. Ranganathan, before I come to you, let's first bring in Mr. Kamru Choudhury. Mr. Choudhury, what is the problem? Why are you going after the Modi government? What is this Gujarat model and the Sohrabuddin encounter tactic charge?
No, basically, Pranesh, you see, we have always stood with the Indian government with regards to the foreign policy of our country. And basically, we appreciated the response, measured response that the Ministry of External Affairs gave to the Canadian government in their indictment of India and its issue that happened just a few days ago. But today what happened was the US completely, in a bizarre manner, I will say in a bizarre manner, has charge sheeted or rather accused our national security advisor, Mr. Ajit Doval, in a case which may be having merit, which may not be having merit. My point out here is that why is the Narendra Modi government trying to hide the facts from the general public? What actually is conspiring with regards to our foreign policy with the United States of America and the Canadian government? These are two important countries for our strategic interest in the global geopolitical spectrum, and we as a responsible opposition need to know what actually is transpiring in this thing. Whether USA is right, whether Canada is right.
Mr. Choudhury, 1 minute. Hang on. Before I get the BJP spokesperson to respond to you, 1 minute. I frankly don't understand, what you're trying to say. So, you would have us believe that the opposition, including members of, the Congress party, the left, TMC, what have you, they have not been briefed Yet you have a problem. अगर आपके पास डिटेल्स नहीं है तो फिर दिक्कत क्या है? तो आप ऑब्जेक्ट कैसे कर रहे हैं? You can say कि बता दीजिए. On what basis are you making these criticisms?
No. Let me tell you, Pranesh, you see, after 2014, in order to cater to the domestic audience in India, the Modi government has been practicing a balancing domestic nationalism vis-a-vis our foreign policy, which has committed a harakiri. Why we say Bangladesh is an enemy country now, Pakistan always was, Nepal has turned its back on us, Maldives, a small tiny country, is even showing us fingers. We have got our problem with the Canadians, we have problem with the United States, we have problem with Palestine.
The Maldivian president was here.
What type of masculine nationalism are we going?
I don't think, Kamru Zamanji, you are updated, or maybe you don't want to tell us the recent developments. But, you know, be that as it may, let's bring in the BJP spokesperson for a quick response to what you're saying. Mr. Zafar Islam, the charge is that the government is not being transparent.
Well, I think Mr. Kamru Zama is not fully aware. Every important decision taken by the government of India, if it is strategic, then they always update on the floor of the parliament. The concerned minister updates to all the members of the parliament, irrespective of which political party they belong, because it's on the floor of the parliament they have been briefed. Even though it is very strategic nature, still it has been briefed as much as it can be shared with the outside world. It has been shared, but it is very unfair to make this kind of statement that we do not share information, we do not update the opposition parties. But opposition parties are an irresponsible lot. They need to behave responsibly as a citizen, as a political party. That what is important, what needs to be prioritized. What needs to be prioritized is national interest. You cannot compromise with the national interest. You can put us in the dock. You can put our government in the dock. But when you put a finger on us, you are actually compromising in the process, compromising with the national interest, because outside the world will always see that we are a divided house in the country when the national issue is concerned. We have taken every single decision in the best interest of the nation.
Okay.
All this allegation which has been made by FBI, or for that matter any indictment of Vikas Yadav, who is no longer an employee of the government of India, is absolutely untrue. Government of India has already set up a committee which is actually doing the investigation, and the US State spokesperson, State Department spokesperson have confirmed the
That's right. I said that in my opening remarks.
The progress
let's bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, you know, I am amused by the kind of commentary from opposition, because these people have been saying that democracy is dead, we will save democracy, we want transparency, accountability, rule of law, justice. That is exactly what the government is doing.
Good evening, Pranesh, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Thank you for having me in this very important and crucial discussion. Congratulations to America for going after foreign national and designated terrorist Osama bin Laden on foreign soil. Congratulations to Israel for going after foreign national and designated terrorist Nasrallah on foreign soil. Shame on India for going after foreign national and designated terrorist Pannun on foreign soil. Shame. What has come? Honest, General Rawat was right about his 2.5 front. India faces as much external danger as it does internal. It had to happen, and it has, Pranesh. Hatred for Modi has transmogrified into hatred for India. You want Modi to guarantee safety to India's citizens. You want him to combat terrorism. But then you condemn him for conducting surgical strikes on foreign soil. Condemn him for going after designated terrorists on foreign soil. Let me draw a scenario for you that represents what is happening right now. An allegory of sorts. A plane carrying an Indian journalist and his politician wife is hijacked on the orders of a designated American terrorist. India dispatches an agent to eliminate the American terrorist. Mission is successful. Hijackers flee. Released. The Indian journalist and his politician wife condemn India, saying it was not right to go after the American terrorist. What is happening? First, There is no credible evidence that India killed Niger and other terrorists abroad, or that India commissioned Akash Yadav for killing Pannun, or that indeed Akash Yadav is wanting to kill Pannun. No evidence at all. Second, even if it did, these semi-literates don't even realize that indeed in stealth Modi has systematically wiped out 24 designated terrorists on foreign soil. Far from being outraged, 1 billion Indians would be ecstatic and thankful. I mean, did any sensible American disapprove President Obama Osama on foreign soil? Which Indian wouldn't want his country safer to his leader taking steps to eliminate its enemies? Every powerful nation, Pranesh, runs covert off. It is not only sensible, it is vital. And this Niger, the same guy who was put on a no-fly list, something that is done for criminals and terrorists, who bombed and assassinated innocents and formulated kill lists of Indian diplomats who wanted the breakup of India. And this Pannun, the same guy who threatened to hijack planes, bomb them, who wanted to eliminate Indian leaders, including Amit Shah, who made kill lists, who has been involved in assassination of Indians. Extradition requests have been multiple times for both these terrorists, but both Canada and America refused to oblige. And this Trudeau is the same guy who congratulated America for killing al-Zawahiri. He said, quote, killing of Canada will keep working with our global partners. That's unquote.
But when it comes to someone that India designates as a terrorist, someone who was heading a terror outfit, suddenly everyone enters into a fit. Just 30 seconds. This is also about hypocrisy, Pranesh. Please give me 30 seconds. I am old enough to remember, and I think you are too, that when in 1985 Khalistanis blew up Air India flight 182 killing 329, Justin Trudeau's father refused to hand over bombers, including the dreaded terrorist Parmar. And you know what his reason was? That India is not deferential enough to the Queen. Remember how America repeatedly refused extradition requests for 2611 mastermind David Headley? So you don't hand over to us these terrorists. You don't want us to go after them. What do you want us to do? Sit back and watch as they perpetrate terror attacks against us? Well, this ain't gonna happen, buddy. This is the new India. You come after us, we come after you. Niger to jhanki hai, Daud Ibrahim baki hai.
You know, let's bring in Dr. Muni and ask him whether he shares that sentiment. Dr. Muni, ये गुजरात सोहराबुद्दीन केस एग्जाम्पल क्या है ये?
Pranesh ji, you know, while people on this panel are talking about a number of things, this particular thing which happened today is a clear failure of Indian diplomacy and foreign policy. I'll just give you some facts. American court issues summons against Ajit Doval for the first time. Washington Post names Amit Shah in their report. Indian Investigation Committee goes on to the US and says that CC1, who is Vikas Yadav, who is an Indian national, who is an ex-RAW agent, is not with them anymore, who has turned rogue. He was recruited by Cabinet Secretariat, and Indian Nikhil Gupta is extradited from Czech Republic and now is in Brooklyn. So 2 Indians are in a dock now. Now, American Senate Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Ben Cardin, who is a senator of Maryland, who says that he stopped drone sale to India till this Niger issue gets solved. 2 days before Modi ji meeting with Biden, what happens is that White House staff meet with people close to Pannu. Ajit Doval meets Canada and explains about Bishnoi land. I don't understand what is going on with Indian diplomacy. Now, when the US made allegation against Niger, our honorable foreign minister said that it is not our policy, and then he goes to USA. He inquires and they said that this particular RAW officer has gone wrong. This reminds me 3 years earlier when Australia asked India's 3 embassy people to leave from Australia due to diaspora spying. These all examples show that Indian diplomacy is failing because of the political interference continuously. Why has he given back this particular RAW officer? Hasn't he worked for the country? And if he has worked for the country, why?
No, 1 minute. No, even if what you are saying is partly true, these are sensitive issues. What are you suggesting? That all this be discussed on television channels? The government should tell us who are our assets, and if someone has gone rogue, and if the government says, look, We are clarifying our position based on what the US has given us. Why is the opposition injecting the Gujarat Sohrabuddin example? What has that got to do with this? And instead of saying a word against Trudeau, what are you doing? You're going after the Modi government, and by extension, you're going after the country. Why? In the past, have we forgotten Kamru Choudhury and Dr. Muni and Pooja Mishra? Think about it.
Yes,
In
yes,
2021, Rahul Gandhi asked a US politician, I do not hear anything from the US establishment about what's happening in India. If you're saying partnership of democracies, I mean, what is your view on what is going on here? He wanted a certificate from the US on democracy. Where were we then?
Pranesh, should I?
No, let Kamru Zaman ji answer that.
Now, Pranesh, I don't understand why are you so agitated when the opposition are questioning the government on this? You know, our honorable Prime Minister was barred from visiting the US immediately after the Gujarat riots. Amit Shah was tadipar by the court from Gujarat for a long period. He was jailed, in fact. Now there is an indictment against Amit Shah that he was involved with the Lawrence Vishnu gang. These questions should be asked and should be answered by the government. Our Ajit Joval's role in the US court
Kamru Zaman Choudhury, by
India.
this logic,
can I say
1 minute,
that
Rahul Gandhi is out on bail,
and
Rahul Gandhi is out on bail, Amit Shah has got clean chit in the cases that opposition parties have. No, 1 minute. I'm only. You began by saying, why are you agitated? Look, I'm only agitated by your hypocrisy. On one side,
it was Amit Shah's name which came out clearly.
Karan,
can I just respond?
Can I make a point?
Yes.
Pranesh, just look at their double standards. Every time India said that we actually entered Pakistan and hit Pakistan where it hurts them in Balakot or right after Uri, they were questioning that. They were saying, oh no, India hasn't gone into Pakistan. Show us the proof. And today when US has said that yes, the Indian raw agent tried to kill a designated terrorist, they're believing that in complete agreement without even questioning, without even understanding anything. They're ready to jump the gun. This shows their duplicity and hypocrisy. And Pranesh, it's very simple. You know, today this opposition has reached a point. There used to be a point where at least internal security and international relations, we had some sort of consensus and those were bipartisan. Today this opposition is so desperate that they are ready to side with Canada, they are ready to side with US nations which have gone into other countries, destroyed them, rendered millions homeless. Those are the countries they want to side with and then give a lecture to Indians. I mean, give me a break. And as far as this guy, this Pannun, I mean, here is a man who is designated by our Home Ministry by a notification on 1st July 2020 that he is a wanted terrorist. He has gone on to say that anyone who goes for the World Cup final on 19th November might just lose their life and the plane might blow up. That kind of a man who's threatened our Home Minister, and for Akash Deep Muni's knowledge, he's even likened Bhagwant Mann to Ben Singh and said he would meet the same fate. I mean, to that sort of a man, are you going to come in support of him rather than believe our agencies and our people? And if, let me give them a benefit of doubt, if Vikas Yadav has attempted something like this, he is our hero. He is the kind of person we look up to. Anyone who eliminates a designated terrorist is a hero and should be celebrated by the world over. US celebrated, as Dr. Ranganathan said, when they entered and eliminated Osama bin Laden. Israel is celebrating when they've eliminated Hamas chief. Why should we not celebrate that? This is the kind of strength we should have had decades ago. Now that it's coming, why is Congress all over the place? They talk about democracy being obliterated in India. They ask for US and UK to intervene, and now they cannot stomach that fact.
Let's
that
quickly
we have
get in
Dr.
Ranganathan. He wants to make a point, then I'm coming to you. Dr. Muni, I'm coming to you after this.
Brief couple of points, my good friend Karanji, and to the BJP spokesperson Zafar Islamji. I agree with them wholeheartedly, but 2 points. Number one, yes, Indians must send their agents to go wholeheartedly after designated terrorists. Absolutely. Number two, please make sure that they are not caught or the
operation is botched up. Number three, if it is, you must have leverage, adequate leverage to make sure to browbeat the nation, to not come out with indicting our NSA chief or Amit Shah. That is unacceptable. You know, America would never do that to Chinese ministers or Chinese, NSA advisors. So there you must leverage whatever we can. We are not a soft power anymore. We are on the way to becoming a hard power. And number 4, it would be much easier to explain to everyone that we are not just going after designated terrorists if the designation that these people are terrorists are made by an Indian court rather than an agency. So these are the 3 points that I would like to be appended to what my good friend Karan has said.
Okay. Dr. Zafar Islam wants to come in. Yes.
See, I have heard everyone. I just want to tell you a few things. That India, first of all, India used to be a very soft country. Prior to 2014, everybody could target Indians. The foreign policy of India was so soft that we were not in a position to serve our own interests or safeguard our own interests. Today, we are not only safeguarding our interests, but we are also serving our interests, in the sense that what I meant basically that we know exactly how it needs to be achieved and what needs to be achieved. As a matter of foreign policy, we exactly know what will give us leverage, what will give us position of strength, and from position of strength, how we need to serve our own interests. That is something which is a clear change of the foreign policy, what we had in the past, what we have today. And it is so evident from the fact that everyone recognized the Indian leadership, recognized India as no longer a soft power, but a very strong nation which actually advocates its and safeguards its interests. And it is
Mr. Zafar Islam, all that is fine. What Dr. Ranganathan was trying to tell you, and what Karan was, he also briefly touched on this, is that look, you talk about Mazboot diplomacy, all that is fine. But when the NSA is named by a country, then you must have a robust and proportional response. That is missing. At least I am not aware.
I think it is a part of the diplomacy. Sometimes you also have a back channel diplomacy, track to diplomacy, all this works. And sometimes all these things is what is there and visible.
Okay. But what track is the opposition on? Dr. Muni,
not visible to people.
What track have you picked?
Pranesh ji, my good friend Karan was talking about that we should name Vikas Yadav to be a hero. I agree with him. Do you know, Karan ji, who named him as rogue? Our foreign minister. Our foreign minister named CP1 Vikas Yadav to be a rogue who was recruited by the cabinet secretariat. Today you should have questioned the Bharatiya Janata Party. Today you are questioning the opposition. Opposition, I am totally against Nijar. I am totally against Pannu. They are designated terrorists. But why our Indian government is failing to attach these people and are failing to stitch up the diplomacy? Why US is questioning, and how dare US can put an Indian national in the FBI wanted list? How can Canada question India? These all questions is done by the opposition. Questions are not against Vikas Yadav. Questions are against, my dear friend,
Dr. Muni,
against the Indian
let me
government.
quickly remind you, I am happy that you've suddenly realized that ye bhi bol sakte hain. Mr. Channi, who's a Congress MP, ex-Punjab Chief Minister, do you know what he said?
अरे उन्होंने तो अमृतपाल का सपोर्ट किया था, उसको कौन मानता है? He is
Member of Parliament है.
हाँ, Member of Parliament है, but even Congress has said that he is the nobody, and he is speaking for himself, not Congress. So I, as an Indian, you as an Indian, we support our Indian government, but why?
No, so he'll continue to be part of the Congress party, will not speak for Congress party. Yeah, this is a new model. But let's bring in Pooja Mishra. She hasn't spoken yet. Pooja ji, जो विकास यादव मामले में जो हमने जिस तरह का बयान देखा है, गुजरात मॉडल, सोहराबुद्दीन शेख, इसका क्या मतलब है?
I think she is raising a concern which is very significant, and regarding every citizen of India has right to raise a concern. It is concerning. At one hand, we say that USA is an ally of our nation. On the other hand, if we end up seeing all these things, it's a concern. At that point, we are not ready. We are not at a position to even see this kind of smallest thing also, whether it's the alleged or an ex-officer, whether it's the name of Vikas Yadav on the most wanted list, we are not ready when the neighboring countries are at unrest, and here we are discussing what the opposition did, what the
नहीं मुझे
current nation is doing.
मैम कैन यू प्लीज सिंप्लीफाई व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से? मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, आप बस बता दीजिए कि ऑब्जेक्शन क्या है. अगर गवर्नमेंट ने ये कहा है हम कोऑपरेट कर रहे हैं यूएस अथॉरिटीज के साथ और उन्होंने कहा है वी आर सेटिस्फाइड विद इंडियाज रिस्पॉन्स, तो यहाँ पे जो डोमेस्टिक कमेंट्री चल रही है कि गुजरात मॉडल है, उसका क्या मतलब है?
According to you, Pranesh ji, we shouldn't raise concern also. There should be concern if अगर सब कुछ सही था, then why did it came out? अगर जो foreign relationship बहुत अच्छा चल रहा था, they would have discussed with the foreign minister, they would have discussed with the responsible people. After that, they would have taken any action. They took the action, they did the act. Now we are just discussing with that. Then now we are fine with it.
Karan, help our viewers understand first what Ms. Mishra is saying and then your counter to her.
Pranesh, they are as confused as the Mumbai Congress handle is. The Twitter handle, they first were issued a scathing indictment, said what India is doing is wrong, and then they deleted it. The same thing is done by the husband of the member of parliament from TMC, Sagrika, who's openly questioned Indian intentions and said, where are we going? It's a diplomacy failure and God knows what all. So they are not expressing concerns. They first cast aspersions on us, then they deleted it. So we are seeing that confusion on this panel also, where they don't know which stance to take, where to go. Will Akash Deep Muni today condemn the Mumbai Congress that questioned our security forces, that questioned the Indian government? And you know, Pranesh, it's very clear here. Indian diplomacy hasn't failed. Otherwise, we would have not been getting drones from US, oil from Russia, projects in Ukraine. We are doing business with everyone, at the same time asserting our position on the table. That is what diplomacy is meant to be. That is what peace through strength is meant to be. That is how it should be. So the confused lot we see on the lower in the lower area of our screen today, they need to come clean on where they stand. With an eye on elections, Mumbai Congress ने delete कर दिया. पहले इन्होंने कहा कि ये गलत किया है. So they need to take a stand, whether it is Akash Deep Muni, Kamru Zaman and the Samajwadi Party spokesperson.
Yeah, Mr. Choudhury, you answer that point. I think Dr. Ranganathan is adding another question to it.
Yeah, no, one small addition to what Karan has
said. Yes, indeed. If we haven't failed in diplomacy, on the Canadian front, we certainly haven't. Because you look at the leverage that we are exhibiting now, we are looking at the defense import that we were supposed to be having from Canada in light of what the Canadians have alleged. Karan, why can't we have the same thing or could have done the same thing as far as Americans were also concerned? I think we really have to show our strength now. Enough is enough. Nobody has the guts. Will America ever indict the MI5 chief? Will America ever indict the Home Secretary of UK? No. These guys get away with murder because we let them.
No, Dr. Ranganathan, I get the point about the NSA being named and you know, the thing we discussed about a publication naming Amit Shah. I'm only on the point of Vikas Yadav. Look, there are enough examples, and I'm sure, you know, you would agree when I say that democratic countries behave in mature manner. If there is a concern from any other country, you will have to cooperate because it is a give and take relationship, and give and take, by the way, is not compromise.
These both Nijjar, who is no longer there, thankfully, and Pannun have been designated terrorists. There is ample proof. In fact, they themselves have provided ample video proof. Pannun is saying on camera, he is going to hijack planes. He's put bombs in planes. He wants to kill our leaders. What more proof do you want? So the fact that we have asked for extradition of these two criminals we had for Nijjar's case, in this case we already have, and it's being ignored. It should not be, you know, just left aside by India. I mean, we have to be very forceful now, Pranesh.
Absolutely. There's no reason if they can release this poster. I have this poster by the FBI, and look what the NIA website says. This is the poster by the NIA. Has Pannun's photograph on it, and we've not been able to obtain even a red corner notice, or I'm not sure about it, because if we have, where is that going? So Mr. Islam, you'll have to answer that question, but Dr. Muni, answer on the larger, you know, the criticism, which many believe is unfounded. It is petty politics.
See, Praneshji, I know that there are some people in Congress, you name Channi, who is totally wrong when he questions India on the Canada issue. He should have sided with the Indian government rather than Canadian government, but he is doing it because of the people in his constituency who are living in Canada. But anyway, while my friend Karan has not yet questioned Bharatiya Janata Party...
One minute, before 1 minute, Dr. Muni, I am glad you are taking a position on Channi. I read out what Rahul Gandhi had said. Let me read out. In 2019, Mamata Banerjee said that the United Nations must hold vote over citizenship bill. Then she gave a clarification saying she wanted a poll. Adhir Ranjan Choudhury questioned how Kashmir was an internal matter if the United Nations is monitoring it since 1948. Where was the outrage then? And like Karan said, and Dr. Ranganathan said it in his opening remark, when we conduct surgical strikes, you refuse to believe what our forces say. आप बोलते सबूत दिखाइए.
These are 2 years back, but today I am talking about Vikas Yadav. And I am also talking about another gentleman called Nikhil Gupta. What about them? Nikhil Gupta is in arrest. He is detained by the US officers. He has been extradited. भाई आप 3 साल पहले वाला वर्बैटिंग की बात कर रहे हो. आज जब ये 2 बंदे इंडियन है, ये यूएस में गिरफ्तार है, और आज करण वर्मा भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार से पूछ रही जगह ऑपोजिशन को क्वेश्चन पूछ रही है. कैसा राजनीति आप खेल रहे हो? मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा. मैं उस भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पूछ रहा हूँ, क्या निखिल गुप्ता वापस आएगा या नहीं आएगा? क्या विकास यादव वापस आएंगे या नहीं आएंगे? भारतीय जनता पार्टी आप सरकार में, आप बताइए हमारे लोगों को कि या क्या ये दोनों वापस आएंगे या नहीं आएंगे, या विकास यादव को जैसे आपने रोक बोल के छोड़ दिया, आप वैसे ही गिव अप कर चुके हैं, या वो वापस आएंगे? ये भारतीय है, कोई पाकिस्तानी नहीं है.
Dr. Muni, what makes you believe or on what basis are you saying कि हमने रोक बोल के छोड़ दिया? इंडिया ने अपने स्टेटमेंट में क्या बोला बताइए.
मैं आपको बताता हूं. इंडिया का इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग कमिटी अमेरिका गया, उन्होंने इसकी जांच की, और उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा कि PC1 who is Vikas Yadav, who has been named by FBI today, is not with them anymore. आप ये चेक कर सकते हैं. I'm just asking the government, is Vikas Yadav and Nikhil Gupta coming back on?
Dr. Ranganathan.
Please confirm. I mean, I value the erudite Dr. Muni, but did the word rogue, was the word rogue used by the Indian Ministry of Foreign Affairs? I don't think so. Please don't spread fake news here.
I'm just saying that this person is not with them anymore. So yeah, I just want to know.
Yeah, so he's not in service.
You have been in diplomacy.
No.
He is not.
But Dr. Muni, he is not in service. That is all that we've said.
Where he is. Where he is.
अब पता थोड़ी ना दिया, उससे क्या लेने देना? He is not rogue. You know what rogue means? Rogue is somebody who's working for some agency, who's working for a...
He's not working for some agency.
You know, a better way to explain what rogue is to 1 minute, Dr. Muni. The kind of commentary we've seen from opposition parties, some of them have turned rogue. Sir, rogue का मतलब वो होता है. अब ये हिंदी वाला भी एक रोग है, उनको वो भी रोग है, और ये इंग्लिश वाला भी रोग है. But we'll have to move on. I thank some of you for joining us, viewers. Let's quickly move on.